is.
You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Psychologist Book Club. I'm Brandi Hawk, a trauma psychologist and proud book nerd.
I'm Deanna Boys, a psychology expert and also a book nerd.
Let's talk about your favorite heroes and villains, why they do what they do, and what that means for us. Welcome to the club. We are so excited to be joined by our friend, Dr. Brandi Liles.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Brandi Liles, occasional guest on the Nerdy Psychologist Book Club. I am a clinical psychologist, and I read dystopian novels for these two women right here.
Each month, we'll read a new book, and each week we talk about a different character or concept within that book. Deanna, what book are we reading this month?
We are reading They Both Die at the End. And this is his first one, I think, that came out, Adam Silvera book. And it's a spoiler-free book because they both die at the end.
Yeah.
And it's about Mateo Torres and Rufus and Mateo, and they get some bad news, and it's in our universe. It's in New York City.
Yeah.
And they get a call that says that they are going to die in about 24 hours. Yeah. So fun. Terrible. And then they they don't know each other at the very beginning, but there's an app called, what's it called? Last Friend. And I'll read this from the book. It's called Last Friend. And through it, Rufus and Mateo are about to meet up for one last great adventure to live a lifetime in a single day. But yeah, so it's, it's a good book, written well.
Yeah.
Adam, good job. Why did you write it? Why you make me think about death?
We love you. We hate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. Thanks, I hate it. If you like what you're hearing, like and subscribe.
We love to talk to you, and we're just so excited to have you with us.
But yeah, I clearly have a feeling about the books, and we've talked about this already, but like anything else come up for you? What did you like about the book? What did you hate?
I loved it, and I loved Mateo, this is the character I want to talk about today, is Mateo.
Yeah, Mateo is cute. Yeah. Non-canonically a Pisces. I have dubbed him a Pisces.
I'm so looking forward to hearing y'all's opinion related to how he took this call and how I'll talk about it more too. But when I talk with anxiety with my clients, like how do you move your hands and feet, even if your mind is telling you something different?
Love how you talked about like moving your hands and your feet. And in the story, Mateo is very like just sheltered himself. He did it to himself kind of thing. He did not know, or he had inklings that he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he also gains throughout this journey, so he figures out he's gay, but also he helps Rufus kind of think about things differently. So Rufus, his friend in this, lost his entire family in a car accident. And Mateo notices that all of his Instagram pictures are all in black and white. And he's like, you should do your last day in color.
Yeah.
And like live in color. And it was just such like, they both got to kind of like explore this piece of themselves and like live out loud for like one day.
Yeah.
So we have rainbow drinks.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so you brought up the beginning of the book. So Mateo, right from the beginning, is just
such a little anxious
little mess, right?
Sweet thing. Such a Pisces. All you Pisces out there, you'll love it. Or you'll hate it because it's just like you.
What makes him a Pisces?
Oh, the anxiety, but also just like the kindness and like the kind of like the care for every living thing. That he kind of like, he sees a dead bird and like
wants to bury it.
Yeah, and one of like the characteristics of, I'm a Cancer, I'm a water sign. We feel things very deeply. Not saying that no one else does, but we just wear our emotions on our sleeve. And I think that's what Mateo does. It's just always, everything is right there.
Yeah. Everything's his emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cares so deeply.
Sweet little anxious pot. Exactly.
So he gets this call and he's like, I have spent my whole life afraid of dying. And I thought that my fear of dying was keeping me alive.
Mm.
Don't we all?
I mean, this is a tricky thing about avoidance, right? Because like best friends with anxiety is avoidance.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we have fear related to experiencing things. I mean, we can try and talk a little bit about like how it happens in our brain, but because we're afraid, then we avoid.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually gives us some temporary relief. So like avoidance is beneficial in the short term.
Yeah.
Right. The problem is when we avoid and avoid and avoid. And then again, we're sort of like, we're relying on this like really short burst of relief. If avoidance worked to cure anxiety, none of us would have anxiety, right? Because all humans have tried avoidance strategies to get.
They work for a minute.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And they do work. They can be very reinforcing in the moment. But then the long-term effect is Mateo's panic related to now I'm going to die. I haven't even lived a life.
Mm-hmm.
Or that he's lived a life in his mind only.
Yeah. And he actually shows that relief. He has this whole, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go to my door. He's about to open his door and then he has a panic attack.
Yeah.
He closes the door and runs back to his room. And he says, I immediately felt so much better. Like he had this huge rush of endorphins and dopamine and feeling
like he felt
good.
better when it's back in his same space, in his space. Yeah. It's kind of similar to, it's not totally far off from our trauma episode related to trauma effects. So a similar system in your brain is working here. So this is your limbic system. It's your thalamus, your hippocampus, and your amygdala. And the reason why, from an evolutionary standpoint, the reason why anxiety exists is because it was to prepare us for harm. So like fear comes first, and then we have some anxiety related to, I need to prepare for this next time. So if you think about early humans, there were bears. Okay, we're going to use bears. So like bears would eat you, and the bear was right there in front of you, and you had fear. And then your brain reacted to that fear, right? And then after the bear was gone, you had some lingering effects of that fear, which is really what we call anxiety of, okay, if this were going to happen again, what do I do? So again, our brain is really just trying to help us when it feels anxious. It's just we get hooked on it. And then we're then not just afraid of the bear and preparing for the bear. We're afraid of the thought of the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
And so then it's like, now I'm afraid of what if the bear comes? What if the bear gets close to me? What if it's not a bear? What if it's something else? And then our mind sort of just takes over. There's also some research, and I don't know all of the underpinnings of it, but basically it's like our GABA system that is typically turns the threat off. And people with anxiety, like long-lasting anxiety, doesn't have the same like turn off switch. And so then their anxiety kind of just, continues to grow and grow and grow.
You said like you don't know all the science or anything, but just thinking about like it doesn't turn off for some people. And is it related to kind of like nature versus nurture, like a little bit? Like it could be a biological thing, or it could be you have prolonged experience with like always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I mean, I think both, right? I think they're probably people with high anxiety. I say people, like really, I've struggled with anxiety.
Like,
I know y'all have struggled with anxiety.
Yeah,
So I mean us when I say people. But yeah, I mean, I think some of this, like we probably have some biological underpinnings that kind of turn the anxiety on. But yeah, I think experience can affect us. We have been exposed to a lot of dangerous events, but oftentimes anxiety isn't. We are afraid of what might happen, not what is actually happening.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not danger. The thing that might happen isn't danger.
Yes, it is.
But our mind, right, treats it as if the danger is right in front of us, as if the bear is there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really interesting theories out of evolutionary psychology that are like back in the day when there were bears, this was useful.
Yeah.
But now we don't have bears. And so our mind's like, oh, tests. right?
Yeah.
I should be just as afraid. Like I should be just as worried about emails as bears because our brains are designed to be anxious to protect us.
Yeah.
And it's finding things to be anxious about.
Mm-hmm. And then the other so interesting things, I think I mentioned the last episode that I'm trained in the intervention called acceptance and commitment therapy. And they talk a lot about like how language influences our experience. And because even back then when the bear was there, we didn't have all of the language that we have now. And so like part of it is like the connection of language for us to like talk about things being dangerous, then also sets our system off to be able to respond to things as dangerous. And even like the word anxiety. So we say the word anxiety, but like, what is that really?
It's a, Grammy-winning song by Doechii. And Megan Thee Stallion also has a good song about anxiety.
Yeah.
But no, you make such a good point about language. I am going to be that person that's like, oh, I was reading something. It was a TikTok. I was watching a TikTok and I did not check the veracity of any of this. But she was talking about the difference in language of the English language versus like other languages and how they talk about how we say I am a sad person or I'm sad, I experience. Yes. And other people talk about sadness moving through you.
Yeah.
And it's an active thing that leaves you. And like we are like, no, it's a state of being.
Yeah. And we do that all the time, right? Yeah. I am anxious. I am depressed.
Yeah. Rather than I'm feeling this.
Yeah. Or I'm a person who is having this experience because anxiety really is just an experience. It's an experience sometimes in our thoughts, sometimes in our bodies, right? Sometimes it's sensations. And then we take that sensation, that thing that's happening in our body, and then our mind tells us, it's because of this thing, that test, those emails, this thing that might happen to us. And you hear that in a lot of, especially early Mateo. I mean, he's just literally scared of everything.
Everything.
He's scared of everything, right? Because his mind is telling him all of these what ifs that might happen. But it's stolen the first, 17 years of his life, mostly.
Yeah, well, he says that. So, nerdy fashion.
Open your books.
On page 9, 8 to 9, he says, I'm such a paranoid mess. So he has insight.
Yeah.
The few times I was invited to do something fun with classmates, like roller skating in the park or going for a drive late at night, I bowed out because we might be setting ourselves up for death. Maybe. I guess what I'll miss most are the wasted opportunities to live my life and the lost potential to make friends with everyone I sat next to for 4 years. I'll miss how we never got to bond over sleepovers, where everyone stayed up and played Xbox Infinity and board games all night, all because I was too scared.
Yeah. And he feels so safe in his room, in his little spot, right? But that safety costs him something. And oftentimes when people struggle with anxiety, the relief feels so good in the immediate. They don't think about what it's costing them, later for the long term. So it's like, okay, we go out with our friends and like, it's supposed to be a time of joy and connection and things like that. But we're thinking all of these what ifs. Sometimes that can be social too. What if I say something that, it's going to offend someone, or what if I act this way, or whether people think I'm stupid? And then but that's all happening in our mind, and our life is then just happening around us, but we are stuck in our mind.
We're not participating in life because we're just participating in our brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is, I know we were trying to talk about the book, but it makes me think about, and I know we trying to be evergreen here, but COVID.
Oh yeah.
And how much we've seen an uptick in anxiety disorders since COVID has ended or whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how it was like, you might die if you go outside. Everyone was, it was a cultural thing that everyone was being taught. And these kids, they were like, okay, so I can't go outside. I'm just going to be in my house and be in my room and be online.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, get offline, go outside. Like, you said I was going to die outside.
Right.
Can't have it both ways.
Mixed messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will die. And then this poor sweet thing, that's where the anxiety comes from.
Yeah.
So you started to bring this up, but when we think about anxiety, it's not just our thoughts, right? But there's our thoughts, all those what ifs, the rumination, and then there's also the emotional component, the worry, the fear, but also sometimes anger and sadness and relief when we escape. And then there's also physical sensations, right? Like our body feels anxiety and then we do things with it. And our anxiety makes us act and make choices that are sometimes good and sometimes not helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where the intervention piece is, right? So we've learned, and people have different theoretical views about how to manage thoughts, right? So if you think about thoughts from just a cognitive behavioral standpoint, that theory says, oh, you can change your thoughts. And you can, right? Like you can shift your thoughts, but really what we know is that there's not much we can do about our thoughts.
No, they just happen.
They just happen, right? And we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of thoughts a day that are just moving through our mind. And so instead of trying to control those thoughts, just letting those thoughts be and going back to behaviors. And again, this is not my thing. This is related to ACT of move your hands and feet in the direction that you value, that makes your life meaningful. And your anxiety, it's going to be right there with you. Right?
Treat your anxiety as a friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just like just a thing that is with you that
maybe not your friend.
Side by side with you. Right. And what happens is, and that my ACT training, they did a beautiful acting out of this is like we get into this struggle with our anxiety. And so our anxiety is trying to pull us towards avoidance. And we're trying to pull our anxiety into doing something different. And then like all of our focus is so narrowed because we're facing our anxiety and just in this tug of war. And really, if you want to experience life, regardless of what your mind is telling you, what your body is doing, or what feelings come up, you're dropping the rope. You're looking towards the journey of the things that you care about that make your life meaningful. And you're moving your hands and feet in that direction. And so when we were doing this, it was so funny because like then the person started walking towards, their values. And here comes the person who was playing anxiety. And it was like right there. And anxiety is trying to like engage you in this tug of war. And that's kind of happens all of our lives, right? So there's always something that can be pops up for us that gets us in that tug of war. And so the intervention is really about like, oh, I'm in that tug of war again. I'm going to drop, but I'm losing sight of what I care about and what's meaningful to me. So I'm going to drop the rope and I'm move my hands and feet.
Yeah. And not just focusing on, I can't believe my anxiety is coming back up. And like, this is my anxiety. I'm so anxious. But to your point of this is who I am, but saying, okay, the anxiety is here. Redirect my attention back to what I want and where I want to go.
Yeah. And Mateo does that. And it's so beautiful. And again, we get to see all of his reinforcements of he meets this beautiful friendship that kind of turns into a lover, and he gets to experience all of these things. He gets to meet Rufus's friends. Like he gets to like experience this new part of his relationship with Lydia. And you just really get to see how beautiful it is when he lets go of some of the worries. Or just, again, they're still in the background and you hear them come up. And sometimes for Rufus too.
Yeah, he runs away from Rufus when he was worried that Rufus is going to be the one that kills him.
I mean, Rufus is like, oh yeah, where did the police go? And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
All of my thoughts are right.
There's also like levels of anxiety that you want to sort of think about because like if we had no anxiety, that would actually be problematic too.
I mean, we would die. Probably.
We would die or we would take so many risks. Species. Yeah, we would not evolve as a species. We would take so many unnecessary risks. Or even just thinking about sometimes you're anxious because you care about it.
Yeah.
Like when we're presenting or doing things like we're teaching people things, you get that little bit of like adrenaline and cortisol, because you care about it. You care about this topic and you want people to hear you. But that we label that as bad, like, oh, I'm too anxious or I'm anxious about this instead of I'm having these sensations that is telling me what? It's telling me that I care about this thing, right? And I want to do a good job and I want to be able to like meet my goal. And so, but that's different than like just ruminating in our head about like, I can't do this. And now I'm going to avoid it to stop all of the chatter in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. I work with kids all the time. They're like, I always have my headphones in. I don't want to hear my thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silence is like the scariest thing for people.
Yeah.
Our thoughts are just thoughts though. Like they're not facts. Like our thoughts tell us 100,000
What are you
things a
saying?
freaking
My
day,
thoughts are not
you know?
facts.
And so we treat those thoughts as facts. Like, I have to listen to this thought, but I don't want you to use your thoughts as an advisor, you know, like you are the advisor of your life. Your wise mind tells you, is this thought helpful? Do I need to consider it? Do I need to think, like, what is it trying to tell me? Or is this thought really kind of just scaring me? It's not really helpful. It's preventing me from doing the things that I want. And then you get to decide what sort of thoughts guide your hands and feet.
You sort of brought up the fact that we are all anxious, which is accurate. I'm just wondering, like, what were your Mateo moments? When did you notice my anxiety is keeping me from doing the things that I most want to do in my life?
I guess if I was thinking back to like high school and again, even sometimes early college, and most of mine was around, because you all are going to laugh at this because we've talked about this so many times, but kind of like people pleasing too.
I was going to say, same
right?
thing over here.
Yeah. And so it was like, oh, am I meeting everyone else's needs? Am I good enough? Am I pleasing everyone? And so that's where like a lot of my anxiety came from. And so I just remember, like, I don't know, just sitting in class or something and just being so stuck in my head. And I think I didn't realize this at the time, but it's like looking back now, you just missed out on like rich, meaningful connections.
Yeah.
Like I had built so much more meaningful long-term friendships when I kind of let my anxiety stop controlling me or my people pleasing stop controlling me than when I was trying to please people so much and so anxious about pleasing people. Like my relationships healthier, my friendships are healthier. There's just so much that I was missing out of, like, this is the real genuine me. And then actually people do accept that. And it's not just they're accepting this, like, oh, this people pleasing part of me.
Yeah. The perfectionism
Yeah.
piece, like.
Yeah.
I mean, so many times throughout my life, but the one that's kind of biggest for me is early on in my marriage, I became like petrified of my husband dying.
Oh.
Just, I mean, it really was Mateo. But
She's a water sign, by the way. I just want everyone to notice that.
I am also a Cancer. But I was just so terrified he would go like drive for a very short period of time. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, what if he gets in a car accident? What if he doesn't come home? Just constant fear. And it was impacting me. It was impacting my ability to just like enjoy myself.
Relax.
And it was impacting our marriage too, because who wants to be around a person that's anxious all the time?
Yeah.
And so I saw a therapist. She was wonderful. She did great. Kudos to any therapists that
treat therapists. God bless Lupe. I always say it every time, like special human treating us therapists or psychologists.
Gosh,
special humans.
So good. But being
you guys don't take advice very well.
We're really bad at it.
I'm not gonna lie. As your friend,
then you just come with your people pleasing into therapy. Like, I'll just be the best patient. I'll just take all the advice and do all of the things, you know. But it's like then you had to break that down too and be like, oh, that's not what this space is about.
Yeah. So it was. I think that was really, really helpful, and it was when I was able to let go and be like, man, if he did die, I would still be able to live.
Yeah.
Right. Like it wouldn't. It would be horrible. Obviously, I would have all of the terrible feelings like we see in the book, right? But that fear, it shouldn't keep me from just enjoying and living.
Yeah.
Right. And the worst thing isn't the worst thing.
Yeah. And even if he did die, which just kind of gets back to the last episode related to death, it's like if he did die and you spent all of your time ruminating about him dying, that's all this meaningful time that you are spending in your mind and not with him.
Exactly.
And that's what you're going to regret if he does actually die, because P.S., we're all going to die, you know, but like then you've been stuck in your mind so long. And Mateo was able to like break through that. Is so amazing. Like with Rufus' support.
Yeah, because Mateo can't do it on his own. He tries in the beginning. He tries to leave his room.
I love how he tidies up his house. It's like, good job.
That's me. I'm like, well, I don't want people to come to my death, you know, like in my house after I die.
Oh my God, my mom, I think it's a Midwest mom thing too. My mom like literally would not leave the house if there was dishes in the sink. She's like, if someone comes in, they will not see my dirty dishes in the sink.
That's funny.
Did you, no?
No,
Oh, well, then my mom was just really anxious and I didn't know
so much. Not so much.
You're like, nope, Deanna, that's a you thing.
No, my mom was like, if there's a dirty house, that means there's happy kids, kind of, like mentality.
That's nice.
That's cute. I like that. That's sort of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Our house is our house. And if I'm happy in it, that's enough.
I mean, I say that, but again, like anytime it comes over, I'm still like tidying up, and I irreverently say, my friends aren't going to love me if I have dirty baseboards.
I was about to say that to you. I was like, you look at me like I'm crazy and you clean your baseboards. So
that's a different level. That's impressive.
What did you notice in the book related to avoidance?
I actually have one of the
parts
picked out. Okay, so this is on page 109. So Rufus and Mateo are together. They hop on the subway.
Oh, yeah.
And Rufus is like, oh, there's a party train, which also, why don't we have party trains?
COVID ruined it.
So there's a party train and Rufus is like, oh, let's go. And Mateo says, oh, it's not my speed. Like he goes in the other one. Rufus comes over. He's like, why didn't you? Oh, it's just not my scene, right? And then on page 109, Mateo says, but I wasn't honest with Rufus because on a deep level, I do believe partying on the train is my kind of scene. It's just that the fear of disappointing others or making a fool of myself always wins.
Yeah. Because it's fine if the party train's not your thing. But if it is your thing and it's fear that's keeping you from doing your thing, that's when we have suffering.
Yeah.
Right? So that's when suffering increases for us.
Yeah. But like if you really don't like the party train, then going on the party train would have been suffering.
Right.
Yeah. And not going is being true to who you are.
Which we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Avoidance. What are your avoidance strategies?
Keep him busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like us pure over-controlled people pleasers that we are. We'll just throw ourselves into work and we'll just deal with everyone else's emotions so we don't have to process our own.
Yeah. I do not make me process my emotions. I'm an intellectualizer of my emotions.
Yeah.
I am very able to talk about them.
Yeah. And that's a great avoidance strategy that we don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
So, we talk about avoidance strategies related to I'm using alcohol and drugs to numb my emotions, or I'm staying in bed all day to numb my emotions. But we do not always talk about these other avoidance strategies where it's like, oh, I can talk about my anxiety.
Yeah.
But you're not feeling your anxiety, or you're not, or like sadness too is huge,
sadness,
right? Like, oh, I can make sense of why the brain does this, but I'm not actually feeling the sensation of being sad.
Yeah. And that's missing that connection, right? It's the thoughts, it's the body sensations, it's the feelings. And if we're only looking at one of them, we're missing all the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think paying attention to our sensations can be really, really helpful for us, like bringing mindfulness into our internal experiences. So thinking about Mateo's like, oh, my heart is racing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm getting hot. I'm sweating.
Feeling dizzy and nauseous.
I'm feeling dizzy. My stomach is, turning in knots. That can actually be helpful for us, again, to have mindfulness of our own experiences. But remember, our mind then jumps to, I'm anxious. This is dangerous. I'm going to panic. I'm not going to be okay. But that's all our mind telling us that. That's not the actual sensations that we're experiencing. And so if we can pull apart the word anxiety from those sensations, they actually get much easier to manage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then they're just sensations.
And they come and go.
Yeah.
They come and go. And same with emotions, right? So again, fear is going to come. Shame is going to come. Sadness is going to come. If we don't get into the tug of war with it, it's just we then learn that all of our emotions rise and they fall and they rise and they fall. And that's just really what is being a human is about.
When you are worried you're going to make a fool of yourself, have you ever said, I'm just going to do it? And then later, did you think about it and go, I made a fool of myself. I need to correct that. Or do you just move on?
I mean, I think there's way less examples of that than the opposite, which is I'm not going to make a fool of myself. So I'm going to keep closed off. And then feeling kind of like the regret, or oh, all these other people were having so much fun and they didn't care about their dance moves or what they were saying or what they were wearing or whatever. And then you think, did they have more joy than me? Well, probably, right? Probably.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a story that I told you both. It was from a while ago, but it actually, I think, is kind of perfect here. So my favorite band growing up was Something Corporate.
Yeah.
And I went to see them multiple times when I was a teenager. And they had just had their 20-year reunion because PS were old.
Yeah.
And
So
I was
rude.
so excited to go see them. I thought that I would never get to see them again. And so I went. We had tickets on the upper level. So it was one of those, there's like the floor and then the upper level with seats. We have these tickets in the upper level. They're a rock band.
I'm aware of this. Yeah.
So when they come on stage, it's a rock concert. What do?
You stand up.
You stand up.
I remember this story.
Literally nobody in the balcony stood up. And I was like, what is wrong with you fools?
They're old.
And then I was like, but I want to stand up. And I had so much anxiety. My mind was telling me, like, these people are going to hate you. The people behind you are going to be saying mean things about you. My heart was racing, but my body was also like, I want to dance.
Yeah.
Like, this is my favorite band. I want to stand up and dance. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. And I was the only person in the entire
You didn't
balcony.
start a movement?
I was the only person standing up and dancing. And then, like, periodically, like, a few more people.
So you did start a movement.
I did start a movement.
You
It was just a
trendsetter, you.
slow movement.
Yeah.
But I had to work so hard to get over those thoughts of, like, don't be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, it's asking
That's a good
yourself the
point.
question, what is it going to cost you?
Yeah.
Like, what will it cost you to do this thing with all these anxiety thoughts running through your mind? Because what's going to give you is like, oh, you'll feel some relief and you'll sit down with all these other people, older people, right?
But you may not have as
But
much fun.
You're going to have this urge
I would
to
have
be
had
like,
so much regret.
yeah.
And that's what I told myself. I was like, if I don't stand up and dance, I will regret this so much.
Yeah. That's a good story.
That is a good story.
I overcame anxiety.
So again, like disconnecting your identity from the experience. So again, I'm pacing around, right? I'm restless. I'm, again, my heart's racing. My breath is short. Like just paying attention to what the actual sensation is. And then ask yourself, okay, what are my goals in this moment? How do I meet these goals, even if this experience is with me?
Can we talk? I'm excited for your opinions on the make a moment situation.
Yeah. Do tell.
Okay. So make a moment is like a huge warehouse, maybe, that deckers, so people that are dying today, can go to do like virtual reality scary things from your bucket list.
Yeah. Like it's like a VR experience, basically.
Yeah.
It's capitalism at its finest.
It's avoidance because it's not real. It's fake things to make you feel like you're doing something that you wanted to do, but you're not really doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think in some ways that's avoidance because it feels a little safer than like doing the real thing. I was trying to think, like, it just makes me like think about so much like online behaviors and social media connections and those type of things where there's still like the screen there's still a barrier to like true openness,
distance,
to true connection. And I think same with those experiences where it's like, and the boys experience this too, where it's like, this is supposed to bring us a lot of joy and fun, fear and all of those things, but it like really fell flat because it wasn't that true realness.
Yeah. They knew that it wasn't real. They jumped off the plane. And then maybe the first second, I think Rufus says, was cool. And then it was
Then
dumb.
you're like, why am I falling still?
Yeah. Why am I wasting my time doing this rather than actually living?
And most of the things that are meaningful in our lives, I'm not really talking about even skydiving or doing scary things, but it's like relationships and goals and dreams and all of that like comes with some risk. And if we don't take the risk, then we're not going to experience the same amount of like joy and fulfillment and all of that stuff, right? If we just play it safe.
Ooh, can I bring up something maybe slightly controversial?
Sure.
So this is reminding me of parenting and parents who want to keep their kids safe
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
Right? And how actually not letting your kids experience danger is harmful.
Yeah. And there's like, they're doing research studies on it too, where it's like kids who like grow up with no risks don't have the critical thinking skills because those neural connections haven't happened of them having to evaluate their own risk. Now, we're not talking about like, you know, there's problematic things about very young children being home alone,
Right.
you know, for
issues.
hours and hours where it wasn't developmentally appropriate. But I do think it's very important. And I'm not a parent, so it's easy for me to say, but it's very important to allow your kids to take risks, even if those risks means making a mistake, fucking up, whatever, because like the neural connections that they're going to benefit from that is going to be huge, right? And that's going to help them in all their next life problems.
All over the internet, they talk. This is a Bush hate account. I don't care any of George Bush, No Child Left Behind.
Oh,
Okay.
All over the internet, the children were left behind.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
They say open the schools,
Yeah.
let them in, because critical thinking is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A generation of kids that like really parents, helicopter parents. There was a whole thing about it, and like I'm not talking about like, hey, I didn't want you to get this thing.
Yeah, I'm not like, oh, we're not beating our kids anymore. Great. That's good.
Love that.
You know,
Good.
like
Good.
that's awesome.
Talking
We
about like
support
not letting them
that.
do anything.
Yeah.
Leave the house without you. Like,
or like not being able to navigate things where it's like the parent, like there's a fight with a friend and the parent shows up to like have a conversation with the friend or the other parent or whatever. And like kids aren't solving their own problems these days. And I think that that's going to be such a risk for longer term society. This summer was at my sister's pool and the kids were like being wild and jumping off the diving board, but it wasn't unsafe, right? Like it was risky, but it wasn't unsafe. Like there were adults watching, you know, they have everybody can swim, all of those things. It's calculated risk. But I know we were all sitting out there like, do we intervene? Do we not intervene? Like their head was like this close to the side of the pool.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And in some ways, no, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a fully dangerous situation. Could an accident happen? Yeah, absolutely. But these kids weren't being neglected in this dangerous situation. Like they were taking their own risks. We'd tell them like, hey, make sure you're paying attention to your body when you're jumping off the diving board and you get far enough. But then they have to kind of do that themselves.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it's called, but there's a danger playground in Sacramento
Uh-huh.
where parents drop their kids off. So no parents allowed.
Okay.
And it's just huge outdoor area with wood and hammer and nails and stuff. And the kids are dropped off for 2 to 4 hours and they do whatever they want and they can earn money by being kind and helping people, by selling things at
So
the
this
store.
is not Lord of the Flies. Got it.
No.
This feels like Lord of the Flies a little bit. Like drop them off, no parents.
But
go build something.
But kind of, right? Because then like if they earn enough money, then they can buy a wrench or they can buy time with the hammer. And then if they want to build a playhouse, they have to build the playhouse. If they want to do things, they just go
That's so
and
interesting.
do whatever they want. And it's dangerous play.
Yeah.
It's supervised, but parents aren't allowed to supervise so that kids actually have the freedom to engage in dangerous play.
Yeah. So I think back to anxiety, when we're able to take those risks and succeed and fail and succeed and fail and succeed and fail kind of over and over and over again, then we have much more competence in being able to do like novel, new, risky things.
Mm-hmm.
We build this skill within us. So I guess that's what I would say for the people who have anxiety is like you can build skills to be able to manage the situations that make you anxious, but sitting on your hands and avoiding is not going to get you the life that you want.
And in the book, Mateo does that, but he does it with Rufus's help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we have anxiety, we don't have to do it alone.
Right.
In fact, we do better when we have someone with us.
Yeah.
So this kind of goes back to my question when I was asking you about like when you have a debilitating thought that like keeps you sitting on your hands.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get out of it? And like having somebody else there that can kind of like shine a light on you.
Yeah.
And just being like, hey, it's okay.
You're on your hands again.
You're on your hands again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes like when it's not me, guys, but like someone's like, that sounds like an anxious thought that you, like, wonder if you're feeling anxious. Like, well, yes. Don't tell me what I'm thinking. I'm very oppositional. I don't know if you know that about me.
And I do think that anxiety happens in our minds. I think the emotion of fear, right, like comes up, but most of the anxiety is connected to our thoughts of what we do with that emotion. Our thoughts spin and spin and spin, and they can control us. So that's what the intervention is about. It's just like, it's just a thought.
It doesn't need to
Is it helpful or harmful? Do I need to listen to it? Is it advising me wisely? Or is it that anxiety thing coming up again?
Are my thoughts liars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Is
are.
my thought lying to me right now?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I can say all sorts of lies to myself.
Sometimes I'm treating very little kids who are anxious. I call it like the pink elephant skill. So it's like, oh, imagine you're a pink elephant. Okay, now look in the mirror. Are you a pink elephant?
Well, yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me see that.
You are still you, but your mind is telling you you're a pink elephant. And so our mind doesn't always tell us the truth.
And isn't that so cool that you can imagine yourself as a pink elephant?
Yeah, yeah. And again, our brains are just, they've evolved to protect us in this way. So it's also not getting mad at our mind. Like the other skills, like, oh, thanks, mind. Like, thanks for advising me. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be watchful. I'm going to take this calculated risk. You
do
know,
some
like
conflict resolution with your mind.
Do some conflict resolution with your mind.
When you imagine your pink elephant, are you wearing clothes?
I think
I'm wearing a
spots.
tutu.
Why do I have purple spots on my pink
I have a
elephant?
tutu.
You have a tutu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Mine has a cute little hat, like a little star hat.
I think for Mateo, because of his connection with Rufus, I think that brings the panic in his brain down so he can do so many things that he couldn't do alone, like you were saying. And so it's like, whether that's therapy, whether that's, like getting your friends who know you're anxious to push you to do things, using connection to be able to calm our systems down so we can do the things that we're afraid of.
Yeah.
And you point out the value-driven behavior, and like one of his big values is caring for every living thing.
Yeah.
And like he cares about Rufus.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if Rufus wants this, then I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use your people-pleasing to your advantage.
It's not people pleasing if it's genuine care.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and he because he valued connection so much, then he started behaving in congruence with his values.
Yeah.
And that's when the joy came and the meaningfulness came, and him and Rufus got closer, and their relationship got so rich because he was moving towards his value of connection.
Yeah. Can we talk about, so you brought this up when you introduced us to this delicious drink, right? But one of the things that Mateo is anxious about and is avoiding is telling anyone that he's gay.
Oh my gosh. When he was talking about his, in the very beginning, in the showers, when I had the feelings or whatever he said, I was reading this too literally because I was starting to get anxious about the dying.
Yeah.
I was like, what feelings, man? What are you talking about?
Then you're like, oh, there's a whole book and they die at the end.
Listen, I don't want to get invested. But that you were going at a different point, but you just made me think of the point of the whole thing is like you get invested in people knowing that they might die.
Yeah. They are going to die.
They
literally.
will.
Oh yeah, sorry, I said might again.
Everyone is going to die.
All people everywhere.
Listen, okay, can you tell where my anxiety is?
But yeah, you have to think about the cost on the other side. So you're still going to die, and now you're dying alone.
Yeah, and
Mateo could have died alone in that house fire.
And he could have died without telling anyone who he is.
Yeah.
And I think that's even sadder than dying alone in the house fire, is dying without ever actually being true to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you got to come out basically.
Yeah.
Had a little coming out party kind of thing.
Yeah, with Lydia.
Yeah.
And see,
I'm sure Lydia knew. He just needed to catch up.
Yeah, I'm sure Lydia
when
knew.
Rufus knew within like 2 minutes.
I know.
Yeah. And of course, this is so complicated by oppression and, homophobia and everything. Like, we're not saying it's like, it's safe enough to come out to everyone, but come out to your people, right?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting too, because the way I look at this, he started living congruent with his values. He started allowing this connection, even though he was really scared.
Mm-hmm.
And he started opening himself up to the experiences. So he was open, he was connected, he was much more flexible. And then that allowed him to feel safe enough to be able to share his true identity.
Yeah.
Psychological safety is a big thing.
Yeah.
Not everyone is psychologically safe for
That's
you.
true. That's true.
Yeah. But I think his dad would have been.
His dad
Like
would have
it
been,
seemed
but
like
also
it.
his dad was in a coma. Do we know
Yeah.
anything more about dad than he was in a coma?
I mean, we get all the flashbacks to him
Yeah.
being a great dad and
Oh, true,
supporting
true,
Mateo and
All of his
Oh,
memories
yeah.
suggested that his dad would be like love him no matter how he identified.
yeah,
And then he did end up telling his dad. Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
But dad was still in a coma, and I
Yeah.
think that's a sad part of the book is that he never got to actually share that with his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hear his dad say, "I can't
I
wait
love
to
you.
meet
I
your
accept
boyfriend."
you. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it was a good, like, speaking to the literary piece of it, of Adam putting that in there, is that like that is actually a very common thing, is that you do not
Yeah.
get to share it with the people that your family members, for one reason or another. In this particular instance, there wasn't a trauma related to it,
Yeah.
but often it's because of strained relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
And right.
Them not being psychologically safe for
Yeah.
you. So that was,
Yeah.
it was good that he put that in there.
Yeah. And there's
Probably realistic, and I wonder which self-insert character he is, Adam.
yeah, but I think there's like, I don't know. I wish that Mateo could have talked to his dad about it.
Yeah.
And it comes back to this idea that sometimes anxiety is helpful, right? Because if you have a family member who will
Yeah.
invalidate you and harm you emotionally or potentially physically,
Yeah.
then, you shouldn't tell
yeah,
them.
Yeah. But then again, it's about like finding your wise self that's within you to figure out, is this my anxiety? Like, is this my anxiety telling me, no, this really isn't safe? Or is this just I'm afraid of this because of fear of rejection or fear of whatever, but this person is showing up in a safe way.
Right.
And that's where it's like the flexibility around it, right? So like ACT calls it psychological flexibility, being able to like flow and shift and change like based on what the context that is happening, so that you're using your own self, your own values to figure out how is it most effective for me to show up in this situation.
Makes me think of the StoryCorps episode. It's just a
Oh yeah.
PBS, I think, is who runs it.
Yeah.
And it was an older gay gentleman talking about his past and about how he was embarrassed about his farmer dad.
Yeah.
And he went to the school. He was going to be in the play, and he was going to wear a dress, and he was going to be himself. And he was so excited to like be that way, but he like didn't want his dad to see it. And he also didn't want anyone to see his dad because he was embarrassed. And then he was worried his dad was not going to like him because he's gay,
Yeah.
And the thing that the dad was mad about was he was like,
because this was him talking to the dad.
This is him telling the story long after his dad passed, and then they turn it into an animation. It's a lovely thing.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But he was like, I'm disappointed in you. And he's thinking, oh God, I'm just bearing down. I'm ready for this. He knows I'm gay. He's like, you are not living to your values, basically. He like literally said that. He's like, you are not being yourself to everyone.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. So
sweet.
Sweet
that's
little
so sweet.
connection. But me and my little pop culture references, sorry.
I love it. That was great. So can I say that the story ends well and then sad, right?
Wait, but like, yeah, let's do it.
So
They do die at the end.
They die at the end, everyone.
but first they live, right? So, okay, this part actually like really made me cry. They're talking in bed about their story, and they're like, two dudes meet, they fall in love, then they die, right? And that sucks. Mateo says that's not our story, or Rufus says that's not our story. No, Mateo says it. Mateo squeezes my hand. We're not dying because of love. We were going to die today, no matter what. You didn't just keep me alive, you made me live. He climbs into my lap, bringing us closer. He hugs me so hard, his heart is beating against my chest. I bet he feels mine. Two dudes meet. They fell in love. They lived. That's our story.
Yeah.
That's a better story. Ending still needs some work. Mateo says, forget about the ending. I doubt the world is in the mood for a miracle, so we know not to expect a happily ever after. I only care about the endings we lived through today, like how I stopped being someone afraid of the world and the people in it.
Yeah. So we don't have death cast, so you ain't going to get a call that you're going to die in 24 hours, but this is your message to live your life.
Yeah.
Right? Live your life. Bad shit's going to happen. Like it's going to be there. Right? But it's like, it's going to cost you more to avoid living life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Living is so much better.
So much better. And you're going to die anyways.
Yeah. So the death is just happening.
It's just going to happen. So
live instead.
Live instead. Live instead. And again, doesn't mean just joy. Yeah. It means sadness and pain and suffering and shame and guilt and fear and all of the things, like you're letting yourself be a human and experience all of those emotions and showing up for yourself and showing up for others.
I think that's a pretty good place to end.
I think that's great. I almost cried like at least 10 times, guys. The whole time.
You didn't even cry on the death one. You're going to cry on the anxiety one?
I did almost cry on the death one. But so if you made it and if you cried, good job letting your feelings pass through you.
Good job feeling.
Good job feeling
welcome
things.
Sadness.
Yeah. Welcome sadness. Sometimes it's, they're jerks, but it was fine. But I'm so glad that you made it to the end with us. If you like what you're hearing, like and subscribe. On all of the things, anywhere that you listen. Yeah, come again. Come to our book club.
And we have 2 more weeks to talk about They Both Die at the End first.
I guess.
So thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you.